Hi, today we're at the town of Saltdale. Let me tell you about Saltdale as we walk around. So Saltdale, it's located in the Koehn Lake at the base of the El Paso Mountains, near the ghost town of Garlock, up in Kern County. Elevation is 1,923 feet. The lake is about 5 miles long, 3 miles wide. The town was founded in 1914 for the harvesting of salt from Koehn Lake. The post office opened in 1916 and closed in 1950. The town was named after Charles Koehn, who in 1909 filed the first mining claims on what was called Koehn Lake to mine gypsum. Technically, it's called B-borate halite gypsum evaporate deposit. And here, right here, is one of the crystals of what this gypsum deposit looks like. It's a deposit from our Holocene period, which started about 12,000 years ago and extends to our current time today. In 1911, the Diamond Salt Company began developing a location on the north end of the lake. In 1914, Consolidated Salt bought the site, expanded the operation, and built solar evaporation vats, or large ponds, to process more salt. From 1919 to 1927, they were joined by the Fremont Salt Company, which also produced salt by solar evaporation of surface brine. Also in 1914, the Southern Pacific Railroad built a rail spur and established the Saltdale Station for rail shipments. In the old days, the plant would shut down for years if rainfall or storm water runoff did not supply enough water to make brine. But when there was a healthy crop, the salt was cut into 1 cubic foot blocks called cakes, then cleaned and loaded onto small rail cars. The rail cars were pulled by men or mules about a 3/4 mile down the track to the mill, which was built in 1916. Then the salt block was crushed, bagged, and loaded for shipment. In 1928, the Long Beach Salt Company purchased the entire operation and increased the salt load to about 20,000 tons per year. In the 1950s, they began to use little, small, gas-powered Plymouth locomotives for moving the salt, and the trucks and the trains to ship it. In 1975, the Bureau of Land Management, or BLM, won a suit against Long Beach Salt for illegal mining, and the Koehn Lake salt operation was shut down. The rail was pulled up and the buildings were all removed in the mid-1980s. The place was totally abandoned in 1975. Today, we just have the narrow gauge roadbed and some spurs which lead out to the main track, and some of the foundations of the original buildings, wooden fence-like retaining walls, and a lot of debris. And now today as well, the salt from the Koehn Lake is harvested by pumping brine from wells and channeling through a series of ditches and flumes to ponds where it spreads out and evaporates. It takes about 4 months to create 6 inches of salt. The salt produced here is used for cattle feed, for icing refrigerator cars, and for water softening devices. Here we have of some of what's left of the small gauge handcart rail, headed out here. To hand move the materials to the main rail. Get a post here. And here we have some debris of what's left over from the small gauge rail for the hand carts. They were used to pull the material to the main train. All right, we have a pit here. Not sure what this is for. Maybe to extract water from a well. And more debris up here. Here's what's left of the old processing station where they did the evaporation. Here we got a little sump here. And the rail would have, the small gauge rail would have extended outward to the main rail. And we'll take a look around all the little things we can find. Now here's the side of the old processing plant. They do the evaporation, all the chemical mixtures, the old rail spur here. And the rail would have led down to the main rail. More debris from the old site. There's an old processing pit. You step down. Here we still find a lot of debris left over. Some old wood. Here's a trail from the old rail spur, led from here, out here, to this building. Yeah, check that out. Old can here. Foundation, one of the old buildings, you could see. This here looks like a processing pit. Yeah, I think they must have ripped up a lot of the tracks. We got some debris, some garbage. Here's some of the old rail spurs from the old track. Like somebody having a little fire here. Party. There's another footing. And this here, it looks like the old rail ties. From the old small gauge spur. Head out to the main track. We got some over here as well. There's lots of rusted old cans. Left over from the old days. Find all sorts of goodies here. Wow. This kind of looks like the supply trash heap. Glass bottles, old rusted cans. They've been here for quite a long time, you can tell. We got some up here too. All right. Well, there's not a whole lot to see from the old Saltdale operation, as you can tell. We get another board. Of course, you find debris all over this place. Well, that wasn't super exciting. I wish I could share more with you, but to tell you the truth, there's not a lot here really to share. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day. Bye.